thing, that we are running out of oil. Okay,
Right.
whether that's true or not, that's the conclusion that they reached. The British Ministry of Defense projected that the barrel of oil would reach $500 by 2040.
Mm-hmm.
And the German Defense Ministry didn't put a price tag on it, but basically they paint the fallout from this crisis in extremely dismal terms, like breakdown in supply chains, breakdown in social orders, severe social uprising, like basically total collapse. Um, so, given that this Western bloc pretty much lost assurance that they were going to be able to control the main energy producing regions of the world, being, Russia, Iran, Venezuela, Mexico, and so forth. I think that their agenda has been right. We're going to set the society entirely on a different energy basis.
Yes.
And like energy is everything. Okay, most of what we eat is hydrocarbons. The way our agriculture it has evolved. Most of the cost of food that you eat is actually hydrocarbons. You're paying mostly for hydrocarbons. Fossil fuel energy accounts for something like 50 times the amount of physical labor that goes into production of goods, versus 50 times more than the work from muscle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they wanted to preempt the crisis by transitioning in advance and also making themselves independent from what's their political rivals, meaning Russia, Iran, Venezuela, and so forth. And so I think that the absolutely mad schemes that are being implemented today, and I think that, if you look at them, it's like a rabid dog chasing its tail, is all part of this agenda of transition and of energy transition.
Mm-hmm.
And when did they transition to nuclear?
That's their plan. The plan is a nuclear hydrogen economy. The reason why Europe is doing this is simply what Alex is pointing towards. Who doesn't produce any hydrocarbons anymore?
But no, I mean, the question is that why are they so anti-nuclear at this point? And they're pushing.
Well, they're not. They're transitioning quickly to pro-nuclear. Even the German Greens are now saying, "Look, we're going to have to accept nuclear power." Again, my dog agrees with me. The reason that they held off nuclear for a long, long time, because it was rightfully understood that the reason why we did the uranium-238 cycle in these light water reactors was because it produces plutonium, which you can use to make nuclear bombs. Right now, we're going to move to a different cycle where we're not going to be producing. We don't necessarily want to produce nuclear weapons. We can move the Department of Energy back under the Department of Defense, which is where it belongs in the first place, because it was always just an outsourced portion of the DoD's defense, the DoD's budget. What's going to happen now is we're going to rapidly move towards the uranium-233 cycle, I think, in their minds. But they also want to control that completely by doing away with relative to a hydrogen-based economy with big mega nuclear power stations. The oil and gas industry is incredibly decentralized, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though we've got a lot of regulatory capture in the oil and gas space, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of SOEs, a lot of, that's not the issue here. Relatively speaking, like they can put up their toll booths on that, but they can't control the energy producers in Venezuela, Iran, as all the places that Alex talked about, Mexico, Russia, to a lesser extent, the United States. So in a nuclear economy, after 50 years of telling us that nuclear energy is dangerous and ugly and bad and terrible, even though everything other than Gen 1 reactors, all the Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, and even Gen 5 reactors that are on the drawing boards, every one of them can't melt down, have no don't have an appreciable amount of waste, yada yada yada. I mean, there's
Yeah, I mean,
but what they've done is they've conditioned us to believe that nuclear is dangerous, and so the government has to control it.
But